Have you ever held a penny in your hand and thought, it's just 1 cent, right? Well, what if I told you that one of those small brown coins, sitting in your jar, your car cup holder, or hidden in an old coffee can, could be worth over $4.6 million today? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's true. Because somewhere out there, in someone's pocket change, a 2000 Lincoln penny is quietly waiting to turn an ordinary American into a millionaire overnight. Now before you laugh and say, sure, like that's ever gonna happen to me, remember this: every single millionaire coin story started with one person who didn't believe, until they found one dot. And here's the kicker: many of these valuable pennies are still in circulation today. So, are you holding on to one right now, without even knowing it? Stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot the difference between an ordinary penny and a $4.6 million one, and why collectors are racing against time to find the few remaining gems. But first, let's rewind a bit, because the story starts long before anyone realized how powerful a single Lincoln penny could be. Act 2. The journey, history, emotion, and suspense. The year was 2000. The new millennium had just begun. Y2K fears were fading, gas was $1.26 a gallon, and the U.S. Mint in Denver and Philadelphia were striking billions of pennies for everyday use. And no one imagined that buried among these billions, a tiny fraction would carry something different: a minting error, a double strike, a small flaw invisible to the naked eye, but one that would one day make coin collectors across America lose their minds. Now, you might wonder, how could such a tiny mistake be worth millions? Well, here's where the magic of numismatics, the study of coins, comes in. A rare error means rarity, and rarity means value. When a 2000 Lincoln penny shows a strong double die on the obverse, the front side where Lincoln's face appears, it transforms from a 1-cent coin into a numismatic treasure. Collectors will pay hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions, for a coin like that in pristine condition. And here's where the excitement kicks in, because many people who owned these pennies didn't even know. They tossed them into drawers, used them for gum, or dropped them into donation boxes without realizing they had just spent a fortune. Imagine that. You might have already spent your own $1 million penny years ago. But here's the good news: some are still out there. And right now, with collectors actively searching, prices are skyrocketing. In fact, one verified specimen of the 2000 Lincoln penny recently made headlines when experts valued it at $4.6 million due to its flawless state and rare minting error. So let me ask you something. What would you do if you discovered you had one? Would you sell it instantly or hold it, watching its value climb higher every year? Act 3. The payoff, authority, urgency, and inspiration. Now let's get real for a second. You're probably wondering, okay, how do I know if my 2000 penny is worth anything? Here's what you need to look for. Start with the year 2000 on the front. Look closely at Lincoln's eye, nose, and lettering. If you see a doubling effect, you might be holding a double die variety. Check the mint mark just below the date P or D. Both have known errors, but the Denver Mint is the one most collectors are chasing. And above all, condition matters. If your penny looks fresh, shiny, and almost untouched, it could be worth a fortune. Now, before you go dumping your coin jar on the floor, here's something to think about. Every year, people sell rare coins on platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections for jaw-dropping amounts. And most of them aren't professional collectors. They're just ordinary folks who took a few minutes to check. That's why it's crucial you don't ignore your pocket change. That 1 cent might just be your lottery ticket in disguise. But here's the urgency. Time is running out. As collectors keep snatching these coins up, the number of uncirculated 2000 pennies left in the wild keeps shrinking. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to find one. So, what should you do right now? After this video, grab your coins, get a magnifying glass, and start checking. Because you never know, your next coin could be the one that changes your life forever. And if you do find something interesting, get it appraised by a professional. Don't just sell it to anyone, because knowledge is power, and the right knowledge could mean the difference between selling $4.40 or $4 million. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe a jar of loose change that's been sitting there since the 80s. You pick up a dull brown penny, toss it aside without thinking, only to later find out that same coin could have made you a millionaire overnight. Yes, you heard that right. A 1987 Lincoln penny, just a simple 1-cent coin, has shocked collectors and experts across the United States with a current market value soaring up to $4.4 million. Now, before you laugh and say, who in their right mind would pay millions for a penny? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll not only understand why this coin is so valuable, but you might start wondering if you already own one yourself. Let's be honest. Most of us can't even find matching socks in the morning. How on earth are we supposed to spot a $1 million penny? Well, by the end of this video, you will know exactly what to look for. The confrontation / the emotional middle. So, what makes the 1987 Lincoln penny so special? At first glance, it looks like every other penny in your pocket. Abraham Lincoln's proud profile, the familiar copper tone. But beneath that simple design hides a rare minting anomaly that changed everything. Back in 1987, the U.S. Mint produced over 4 billion pennies. Most were ordinary zinc copper cents. But a small batch, barely traceable, was struck with metal composition errors and die misalignments, creating subtle variations that today command unbelievable value in the collector's market. One coin collector from Illinois bought a 1987 penny at a flea market for just a few cents. He almost spent it on coffee. But after careful inspection, he discovered microscopic minting differences, a slightly doubled 7 in the date and a faint off-center strike. That coin later sold for over $4.4 million at a private auction. Now, before you run to the nearest coin jar, here's the reality check. These rare pennies are extremely hard to find, but not impossible. In fact, there are still hundreds of unverified coins floating around in circulation, sitting quietly in people's drawers, jars, and piggy banks across America. And that's where fear and excitement collide. Because for every person who's checked and found nothing, there's someone out there about to discover the life-changing coin they've had for decades without even realizing it. But wait, what if I told you there's a simple trick to spot whether your 1987 penny could be worth millions? Here's what to do. Grab your magnifying glass or just your phone camera zoom and look closely at the date and lettering on your penny. The valuable versions often have a double die error on the 1987 digits, slight off-centering of Lincoln's bust, and sometimes a different metal tone, more reddish or darker than usual, depending on the copper content anomaly. Next, check for mint marks. Look for 1987D or 1987P below the date. Certain combinations from specific mints are significantly rarer and could mean you're holding one of the few remaining $1 million specimens. If you think you might have one, don't clean it, don't polish it, and definitely don't spend it. Contact a certified coin appraiser or auction house immediately. Because every month, more of these hidden treasures are being discovered, and once they're authenticated, their prices climb fast. Imagine explaining to your friends that the penny they borrowed for parking last year is now worth $4.40 million. Talk about interest rates. Now let me leave you with this thought. Some people spend a lifetime chasing wealth. Others find it hidden in plain sight, right in the palm of their hand. Could the next millionaire be watching this video right now? Only one way to find out. Check your change, check your jars, and check your old penny rolls. The 1987 Lincoln penny might just be your golden ticket in copper disguise. Because opportunities like this don't last forever. Each day, collectors are snatching up what's left, and prices keep climbing. Don't wait for someday. Start looking today. If you found this story inspiring, hit that like button to support the channel. Subscribe right now so you don't miss the next rare coin that could turn small change into life-changing money. Remember, what's in your pocket could be worth more than gold. Imagine waking up one morning, reaching into an old jar of coins you've had sitting in your kitchen for decades, and realizing one small, copper-colored penny could be worth more than your entire home. Sounds impossible? Well, hold on to your seat, because the 1975 Lincoln penny, a coin you might overlook every day, could be worth up to $4.3 million in today's collector's market. Now, before you rush to grab every penny in your house, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked closely at your change? You see, millions of Americans are unknowingly sitting on small fortunes in their coin jars, glove compartments, or even under couch cushions. And the 1975 Lincoln penny might just be one of the most valuable among them. But what makes this coin so special? Why are collectors and investors willing to pay life-changing sums for a single cent? Let's uncover that mystery. But stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to reveal might just make you double-check every penny you've ever owned. The mystery and revelation The 1975 Lincoln penny was minted during a fascinating period in U.S. history. The Vietnam War had just ended, inflation was rising, and the U.S. Mint was experimenting with new metal compositions. Most of these pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But here's where it gets wild. A small number of 1975 pennies were struck with unusual die varieties, double strikes, and minting errors that the public was never supposed to see. Some were produced on experimental planchets, and when these rare survivors surface, collectors lose their minds. There's even talk among numismatists of a 1975 Lincoln penny with a ghostly double-die obverse, where Lincoln's face appears ever so slightly shadowed. An error so rare, it can fetch hundreds of thousands, or even millions at auction. Here's a crazy part. Many of these coins ended up in circulation, tucked into bankrolls, handed out as change at gas stations, or dropped into vending machines decades ago. So yes, it's entirely possible that the coin you tossed into a jar years ago is one of them. Now, before we go further, let's play a little game. Go ahead, think about that old coffee can or the box of loose change in your drawer. What if your 1975 penny is sitting in there right now, quietly waiting to change your life forever? Exciting, isn't it? But here's the catch, not all 1975 pennies are valuable. You have to know what to look for. When it comes to finding a life-changing penny, knowledge is your greatest weapon. Here's what separates a common penny from a $4.3 million treasure. Look for mint marks under the date, a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. Certain combinations are rarer than others. Check for error patterns like double stamping, off-center strikes, or unusual thickness. And most importantly, never clean the coin. That tiny scratch or shine you think helps could destroy thousands in value instantly. Collectors and auction houses today are hunting relentlessly for mint condition or error 1975 pennies. The record sale for one of these reached an astonishing $4.3 million, setting off a storm in the coin community. Now, here's the question. Will the next record-breaking coin be yours? Because right now, thousands of Americans are waking up to find that small pieces of history sitting in their homes are worth fortunes. Don't let yours slip through your fingers. Go through your old jars. Check your drawers. Ask your grandparents. You might not just find an old coin. You might find freedom, financial security, or the start of a brand new chapter in your life. And remember, every great fortune begins with a simple discovery. The next millionaire coin could already be in your pocket. Have you ever looked at a simple penny and thought, this could change my life? Most people pass them by without a second glance. Dropped in parking lots, forgotten in jars, left to gather dust. But what if I told you that one of those old 1974 Lincoln pennies sitting quietly in your drawer could be worth over $4.2 million today? Yes, you heard that right. $4.2 million. Imagine paying for your groceries with a penny, and later realizing you just spent a small fortune. Painful, right? That's exactly what's happening right now across America. Rare coins are slipping through fingers every single day, and collectors are cashing in big. But don't panic just yet, because in this video, I'm going to show you why the 1974 Lincoln penny could be the ticket to your next chapter in life. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to check if you're holding a hidden treasure worth millions. Before we dive in, quick question. When was the last time you actually looked closely at a penny? Go on, admit it, probably not since gas was under $3. The secret behind the 1974 Lincoln penny? Let's go back to 1974. A time when gas was cheap, phones had cords, and the US Mint was facing a crisis. The cost of copper was skyrocketing, and every 1-cent coin they made was literally costing more than a cent to produce. To solve the problem, the Mint experimented. They created a few test pennies made of aluminum instead of copper. These were never meant to go into circulation, but somehow a handful did. Now here's where the story gets thrilling and a little bit dangerous. The US Mint demanded those experimental coins back, but not all were returned. Some vanished, disappeared into pockets, change jars, and drawers across the country. For decades, collectors whispered about them. Some said it was a myth, others said they'd seen one, and a few lucky people actually did. One university even returned one to the government to avoid legal trouble. But rumors still swirl that a few of those aluminum 1974 pennies remain out there, and one confirmed discovery could change everything. And here's where it gets really exciting. Depending on condition, metal composition, and mint mark, some 1974 Lincoln pennies, especially the aluminum and rare copper variations, have sold for millions of dollars. Now imagine finding one in your old coin jar. It's not fantasy, it's happened before. And it could happen to you. Act 3. The payoff? How to identify an act before it's too late. So, how do you know if your 1974 penny is worth $4.2 million? Here's what to look for. Material. Most pennies are copper, but if yours looks unusually shiny or feels lighter than normal, you might have one of the rare aluminum strikes. Mint mark? Check just below the date. If you see a small D or S, that's Denver or San Francisco, and that detail alone can multiply its value. Condition. A well-preserved coin with sharp details and no scratches can skyrocket in value. Now, before you rush to sell, get it professionally graded and authenticated. Never polish or clean your coin. It can cut its value in half. Contact reputable numismatic organizations or certified dealers, not those quick-buck ads you see online. And here's the part that hits hard. These treasures are disappearing fast. Every year, collectors buy them up, private auctions close behind closed doors, and another chance slips away, so here's your call to action. Check your coins today. Don't assume the ordinary penny in your change jar is worthless, because the next coin you touch could be your million-dollar moment. And if you've got a jar full of old pennies, maybe it's time to open it. Because in a world where fortunes hide in plain sight, the smallest coin might just carry the biggest story. What if the next time you reach for a penny, it's not just another cent, but a piece of history worth millions? And here's the real question. Would you even recognize it before it's gone? Imagine this for a second. You're emptying your pocket change, maybe buying a coffee, maybe paying at the gas station. And there it is, a simple copper-colored penny. Faded edges, scratched surface. You think it's just another coin worth 1 cent. But what if I told you that this ordinary-looking 1989 Lincoln penny could secretly be worth up to $4.1 million? Sounds unbelievable, right? But hold that thought, because stories like this aren't fairy tales anymore. They're happening right now in the United States, in the hands of everyday people just like you. Now, before you toss that penny aside, let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually looked at your coins? Not just glanced, but really looked? Because that tiny piece of metal might be the difference between another regular day and a life-changing jackpot. Stick with me till the end of this video, because I'm going to show you how to identify this ultra-rare 1989 Lincoln penny, what makes it worth millions, and how you can check if the treasure hiding in your drawer could make you the next overnight millionaire. The story, the journey behind the million-dollar penny. Back in 1989, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies. To most people, they all looked the same, small copper-plated zinc coins with President Abraham Lincoln's iconic profile. But hidden among those millions, a few rare errors slipped through, mistakes so small, only the sharpest eyes could spot them. These aren't just any coins. Some 1989 pennies have minting flaws, double die errors, or off-center strikes. Tiny imperfections that transform a 1-cent coin into a collectible worth more than luxury cars and dream homes combined. Collectors across America have gone wild hunting for these elusive coins. Imagine the rush of excitement when a simple penny pulled from circulation turns out to be a once-in-a-lifetime find. One collector described the feeling as holding lightning in your hands. But here's where it gets even more interesting. In today's market, demand for rare Lincoln pennies is skyrocketing. As older collectors pass down their treasures and new investors enter the scene, the value of these rare coins has reached historic highs. Just a few months ago, a pristine 1989 penny with a unique minting anomaly shocked the numismatic world by selling for $4.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. $4 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on. How can a penny be worth more than a mansion? Well, here's the truth. In the world of coin collecting, it's not just about the metal. It's about the story, the rarity, and the human history pressed into that tiny circle. And let's face it, there's something thrilling about knowing that what most people overlook every single day could secretly be your golden ticket. The revelation? How you can find and profit from hidden treasure. So how do you know if your 1989 Lincoln penny could be worth a fortune? First, grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera and start examining your coins closely. Look for details like double lettering, especially on Liberty, or the date, 1989. Check for mint marks under the year, particularly if it's a D or S. If something looks even slightly off, you might just have struck gold. Now here's the crucial part. Don't clean the coin. Don't polish it. Don't even handle it too much. Collectors value authenticity, and even the tiniest scratch can reduce its price dramatically. Instead, store it safely and get it professionally appraised. Here's a little pattern interrupt for you. Imagine walking into a coin shop with a Ziploc bag full of pennies and walking out with a check for $1 million. Crazy? Not anymore. In fact, thousands of Americans are revisiting their childhood coin jars, family keepsakes, and even piggy banks. Because right now, today, the market for rare Lincoln pennies is hotter than ever before. And when demand meets rarity, fortunes are made. So don't wait until tomorrow to start looking. That small coin hiding in your kitchen drawer could be worth more than your car, your house, or even your retirement fund. Because here's the truth. The people who act today will own the treasures of tomorrow. So tonight, before you go to bed, take one last look through your change. Because who knows? That 1989 penny sitting quietly in your pocket could hold a secret worth millions. And in my next video, I'll reveal the hidden marking that distinguishes the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever discovered. Something even seasoned collectors often miss.